Wade Stewart from the Personal Retreat, just giving you another second edition book update. Been another busy day, busy week, and then capping off with a few hours of working on the book. Today I was working on some post-retreat section expansion. So at the end of the retreat, I kind of gave some things that you could be working on to try and make sure that you got the best out of your retreat as possible. I mean, it's one thing to do the retreat and figure out what you're going to do, then it's another to actually put those ideas into practice. So I wanted to expand that section quite a bit. I think it tripled the size of it about. So what I did is I started with SMART goals, and if any of you are in the personal development a little bit, you've probably heard SMART goals backwards and forwards as well as I have, but you know, they still form a really good way to achieve your goals. You know, being that they're specific, they're measurable, they're attainable, they're relevant, and they're time bound. And depending on where you heard about SMART goals, those different things might not sound like what you remembered them as being. In my research on SMART goals, because I wanted to make sure I got it right, that the whole term and the way those words and what those words mean has changed a lot over the years. I learned that it first got phrased in 1961 and may or may not been attributed to the person who said them, so there's a little bit of discussion point on that. But over the years they've changed quite a bit, and they've changed in ways that make them applicable or more or less applicable to different people and what they're trying to accomplish. So I put that together and explained what I felt the SMART goals were in terms of doing a personal retreat and moving forward beyond the personal retreat and achieving your goals. The next I did some accountability work. Now, a lot of what the personal retreat's about is your personal expectations to better yourself. If it's getting windy here, it's a beautiful day, but it's really windy, so I hope you can hear me all right. You have to be accountable to yourself because a lot of these goals are very personal. I mean, you might have an accountability group that you get really personal with, but it might not be that you get that personal. So I kind of put some things together in this so that you could be as accountable to yourself as you can be. And two of the ways that I do it, one is through a program called Evernote. Evernote is a great way to put your ideas together and be able to track how you're growing them as you accomplish your tasks and you move toward your goals. I really like the fact that I can take an idea and then tie different links to it for different tasks, and then they're all compiled in one document. And then you can spring off of these different sub-documents, and this makes it really helpful. Of course, Evernote can be used to collect other information, such as images and links to web pages. So if you're doing your own research on your goals, you can kind of collect all that information, and that makes it really helpful. The other tool that I use, and by the way, both of these tools are free. Evernote has some expanded benefits if you pay, but for the most part, I think you could get away with using it for free. Google Calendar is my other one, and I like it because, of course, it's a calendar, and I can schedule time that I want to work on these different tasks for my goals. But it also serves as a great way to go back and check how far that I've progressed, what things that I've accomplished, and not only that, but it's a calendar that I can share with loved ones. So maybe I'm not explaining a whole lot of what those tasks are, but I can let them know that I'm going to be busy for a certain period of time, that I'm trying to be accountable to myself, and I'd love their help in making sure that I stay accountable for my goals and my personal development. So I wanted to share some of those things. I'm also working on new illustrations for the book. When I did the illustrations myself, I took pictures of a tablet that I had written in, and you know, it's time to up my game. So went on Fiverr and threw out some ideas for new illustrations. So the second edition is going to have much better illustrations. I hope. Well, I'm I'm sure you can't do much worse than me taking pictures. The next thing that I'm working on, probably at the beginning of July, is working on expanding the author's bio. So I'm going to add a lot more about that. And then also for the second edition, there's going to be a first. It starts out at first with a summary of notes for all the stuff that had changed in the second edition, which is quite a bit. I think right now I've increased the book size by 10%, and I'm probably going to add at least 5% more. So, you know, the Personal Retreat's not a very big book. It's actually kind of short, but I really wanted to focus on how you can really grow your life, find some happiness, get some satisfaction back in your life, and I think we do a really good job with that. So I'm really anxious to get this thing finished and published and be able to share that with you, and be able to go on your own personal retreats, and you can have it benefit you as much as it has me and so many other people I've talked to. Which leads me to another point. I was meeting with a local magazine publisher recently who, it turns out, he's been doing personal retreats for a long time, and much in the same way that I have, he and I have known each other for 3 or 4 years, and just out of the blue he tells me about this thing that he's been doing for years, and he hasn't even gotten the book. So I asked him if he would be willing to be on the podcast, and he is. So we're going to work on getting that scheduled. So it's been a while since I've published a podcast episode. I'll make sure that there's a link to it here so you can go back on some of the older ones. But hopefully we'll have him on there and share his experiences with how great Personal Retreat has been for him. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and look forward to talking to you again about the last couple chapters of this second edition. Thanks.